Hello, imagine this sadness. I have to do part 2 of the last video I tried to give you guys an update on because my phone ran out of space from so many great videos and photos. And here I am finishing part 2 from my bedroom with elevator on hold music in the background because I'm trying to do banking and all the adult things you get to not do when you're on vacation. But we're back to reality. So let me just finish up. I think the last thing I talked about on the part 1 of this update would have been LT Gray hike. That was just like life-changing and mind-blowing. And then Bryn snuck up on the video. And then I'm just going to continue on. So after that hike, the following morning, we left to meet with family, to meet Wes and Sarah, the Jarrells, and their kiddos, to finish off the rest of our vacation in La Fortuna and then Playa Coyote, which is where I was doing that update from on our very last day. So we left Monteverde. When we left, we got this beautiful gift of being above an entire rainbow, which was the coolest thing. We pulled the car over to take a picture. I've never been able to see both ends of a rainbow and be on top of it. So I guess that is the blessing of being in a cloud forest. Adam let me drive for a little while. He did not like it. He said 500 meters into me driving there was already an incident. There wasn't an incident. It was just who wants to yield on the one-way bridge situation. Then we got to see some coatis on the side of the road, which was a lot of fun. We pulled over and the kids kind of popped out and watched those. And then we just toured around La Fortuna. Really cute, great little town, just bustling, super fun, really funky, still kind of up in the mountain area, at the bottom of a volcano. So the Arenal volcano is well known. We never did get to see it in all of its glory because it was clouded over, but that was okay. Town was really great. We just perused around. The drive was unbelievable, kind of tropical and all around this Arenal Lake, which is quite large. And that was so cool. So we were really happy for that drive. And we had kind of come from a bit more of a dry climate up in the Monteverde area. So we were surprised to see that the weather would shift and we were back to some heat, not quite Osa heat and not the same as beachside, but much warmer. So we found a great restaurant there, and then the Jarrells kind of snuck up on us in the restaurant, so that was fun. And then we hit up our Airbnb. I'm just scrolling pictures on the iPad while I do this update so I can jog my memory. Hit up our Airbnb, which had our own pool, so it was like no unpacking, just huck everything in the house and all the kids in the pool and adults too. It was fun. Next morning, first thing, we went ziplining, so that was a ton of fun.
Continue to hold for the next available customer service representative.
Continue to hold.
We value the opportunity to assist you.
So we, excuse me, pardon me, got going first thing in the morning ziplining, which was awesome. It pushed a lot of everybody's comfort zones and lots of nerves and lots of, I think I want to bail. So that was awesome because everybody tackled their fears. And I think it ended up in like the top 3 favorite things of a lot of people on the trip. So we did a round table one night at dinner, and that ziplining got mentioned a lot. So the guides there were awesome. We went to Sky Arenal, and kind of they have this braking system that'll catch you at the end. So certainly you'll pay the price if you come in too hot though. So it was pretty funny watching a few of us rip in. Of course, we got to kind of see lots of great things in nature, some toucans and just birds behind our Airbnb. So that was awesome. We then checked out a place called El Salto. It's like a free rope swing area. I had thought it would be a little bit more timid, but the rope is quite high off the water, and lots of people were kind of cliff diving all around into the same pool. Lots of locals, a lot of police presence, I think, just because there's probably a lot of theft. So we did go check that out. I spent most of my time at a bathroom with 2 other children. Then by the time we got back, we were going to kind of settle in and get doing some cliff diving and have some fun. And then Bryn had a bad wipeout with a nasty scrape on her arm. So we vacated the premises, and that was that. What else did we do in La Fortuna? We checked out La Fortuna Waterfall, which is some really nice groomed steps. There's about, I think, 250 down, 250 up. And that was a really great time. Maybe it's 500 down and 500 up. Anywho's, lots. And then we played in the river down there, and there was lots of fish in the water. That was fun for the kids. It was really cool. Had some little ice cream after. Yeah, just kind of hung out as a family. And what else did we do? We had a really great restaurant, like steps away from our Airbnb. So we ordered food with him one day, and he just kind of cooked and whistled for us when it was done and let us take all of his utensils and plates and everything and eat right at our Airbnb. So we washed those up for him and returned them, but the food was incredible. Next day, Sarah and Adam and Hunter went whitewater rafting, which they said was awesome, lots of fun. I think the first rapid they got thrown out, so that's what Adam was hoping for, something exhilarating and fun, and they had a great time. And then Wes and I took the younger kids all on a tubing ride on the Rio Celeste, which is a really cool blue river, and it was just lots of little rapids and then a pool, and then little rapids and then a pool. So lots of giggles, lots of fun. The crew there was great, lots of splashing and laughing, and our kids had a blast. We got to do a bit of a rope swing there, and Wyatt and I jumped off of like a little car bridge that they have at the very end. So that was kind of fun. We went out for dinner that night. We got rain. We got rain a few nights, so that was kind of cool, just to cool things off in the evening, and we enjoyed it. And then the one night Hunter watched the kids and us adults hit up the hot springs. So we had heard from locals and from our auntie that the best way to do the hot springs was go at night with some candles or some flashlights and find a hot spot in the free hot springs and just enjoy. So we did that. We were like the first ones there, so it was kind of, we didn't really know exactly where to park. I asked some guy, hey, where's the hot springs? He's like, that direction. We went. We were the first ones down there, so we weren't sure. When we first stepped in the river, it was cold, but it was just where the water pooled to the side, so we just had to keep walking into the hot part. We ended up finding a nice little spot, and then like droves of people came after, and we didn't bring candles. We had flashlights, but everybody else had set up candles around, and it was like really romantic and fun and cool. So that was neat, and a nice little, just a little short getaway. So that was fun. And then when we went back up, as I was shining the flashlight when I was about to get in the car, I noticed 4 bright, long, shiny nails that were put under the back of my back tire, which I would have had no choice but to back over. So apparently someone didn't want us to park there. Thankfully, we picked them up and didn't have to run over them, so that was wonderful. We then went the next day. We took the long trek down to Samara, which is a cool little beach town on the Nicoya Peninsula. This was towards the end of our vacation. So we drove down, we left our rental vehicles in Samara, and we were picked up with a passenger van, so all 10 of us could go in it and pack all of our things and head for our last place on Playa Coyote, which we were very excited about because it was a bit fancier, and we splurged since we got to share the cost with family, and we had our own pool. We were right on the beach. It was absolutely spectacular. I walked in the house and just tears came out, and I just couldn't stop them because I just thought, how are we just so blessed to get to live this life and get to even stay in a place like this. So that was really cool. And we had a chef there. Well, they're innkeepers. They stay on the property in their own kind of little loft above the garage on the property. So they stay, and then you're able to pay them to cook for you, which was extremely affordable, especially when split down the middle. So we definitely took her up on that. Her name was Zadie. She cooked us 3 unbelievable meals per day. The kids just devoured. We were so stuffed. We definitely didn't need to do 3 meals a day, but we did it. So we just did beach and sandcastles and moats and pool play, and each night we got like a little thunderstorm for the first 2 or 3 nights, which they said is like never happens in February. So that was neat, and it was able to cool things off because it was a hot tamale. We were like 30 to 35 down there every day. But yeah, hammocks and porch swings and book reading, and the boys did some fishing, which was really ultra local. Let's say the normal guy that they get for fishing wasn't available, so they found a backup with 2 rods and 3 lures and no bait and 3 hours of fishing with 1 nibble. But the guys got to see a manta ray jump out of the ocean, and they got to see flying fish, so that was a highlight for them. Sarah and Amaya and Hildy and I did a bit of horseback riding on the beach for a couple hours, and we got a massage at the house, so that was really wonderful. And we just enjoyed. We just maximized the family time. The kids, I think, on the last day were pretty tired, and I think we were ready for home after our 3 weeks of vacation. So there was a little more downtime that day. We did have one cloudy day, which was kind of nice, just for a bit of reprieve. We did a bit of boogie boarding, but we did have some stingray friends that joined us multiple times a day in front of that house. So we weren't in the ocean quite as much, but we still braved it a couple times to enjoy some waves and just make the best of it and have lots of fun. The kids loved searching the beach for seashells and sand dollars and crabs and snails, and the property was loaded with we had oh my goodness gracious, mapachis they're called. Raccoons. We had raccoons that came nightly, and we could feed them. And we had tons of lizards and iguanas and birds around. We even got to see a macaw there, so that was great because Wes and Sarah hadn't got to see one in the wild yet. And yeah, we just sucked it all in for the last few days of our vacation. We had a beach bonfire, that was fun. Gathered all the scraps from the beach and dead palms, and it lit no problem. And then I found a turtle's nest on one beach walk morning. So I could see these tracks going up and down, and I'm like, what tracks are these into and out of the ocean? I'm like, oh, that's for sure a turtle. And so I followed them up, and I did see her nest, but her nest had been ravaged by animals. There was a lot of raccoon prints, and all of the eggs were out and eaten. So that was a bummer. And then we got a private driver up to Liberia Airport, where we stayed one final night before we flew home to Calgary, which was a fairly bumpy flight, but we made her home. And we got super lucky. Even our driver was like, oh, this isn't super normal. We got to see a big family of howler monkeys right on the road as we were leaving. So we got to get out and chat with them and talk to them and have lots of exciting, just seeing all the babies and the family. And it was great. So we're home. We're done. And stay tuned for some iMovies that I will get up when I get to organizing all of the 1,000 and some photos.